episode number 113 of Back in the Closet with the Two Crazy Cat Ladies. We are back in our closet after a wonderful Think About It Thursday. I just have to say, for those of you guys that just joined our Think About It Thursday live on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, we were talking about animal control and the event that happened this past weekend when animal control was called on our neighbor's cat because while the cat was at the vet the day before, it got scared and bit one of the vet techs. And I have to add in here because we're going to be talking a little bit about our strengths today and a recent test or assessment that we took.
An assessment test has such a bad connotation.
I know, but an assessment that we took. And what was really funny is that Adrian, while we're standing there in front of the officer from animal control and the family that's freaking out about the possibility of their cat being taken away, Adrian says, I feel like we need to be filming this. I was like, wow, you were all in. A Two Crazy Cat Lady.
Yes,
yes.
Like, can you imagine if we had this in our stories? That would be incredible. Hey, everybody. Hi, Pam, Tina, Robin, Madison, Anna, Marilyn.
Yes.
You guys, this is so exciting. I really did. It's hard to like shift gears from that.
From the Think About It, the animal control one. Yeah.
It is. But, okay. So let's talk.
A little vino can help. I just poured an afternoon glass of rosé.
Busted. I have one more bottle of water to chug before I get a cocktail today.
That's nice. That's nice.
That's a nice.
So, guys, today we want to talk to you a little bit about a recent test that we took, and our entire team actually assessment that we took. And it's called the Clifton Strengths Test and assessment, the Clifton Strengths Assessment, which is a much better word than test. I get it, but it did kind of feel like a test because you had to answer every question as like your first instinct within 20 seconds. Yeah. You had 20 seconds to answer every question, and
like the SATs all over again.
It was kind of weird, but. Our beautiful love of our life friend, Sienna from Sienna and Toast, their podcast. You guys should check it out if you want to just have the most peaceful podcast and get to know Sienna and Toast. They are an amazing duo. They're a lot like us. I feel like we're kind of like doppelgangers in a way. Like
we're amazing.
I know, but Sienna from Love and Above Cat Club. If you guys haven't checked out Love and Above Cat Club, go check them out. Absolutely amazing. We see Sienna as kind of like our mentor from the beginning, like literally like 5 years ago or something.
I remember the first call that we ever did with Sienna. I was at the office working my day job, and I had to ask for a lunch break so I could sneak into a empty office at the time and have this conversation because I couldn't leave work and have this very exciting call with Sienna.
It was so amazing. And since then, every time we get to talk to her, it's just an amazing. She's like the Zen master, right? Like even if she's talking about whatever busy work stuff that we've got going on, she's the CEO of Jackson Galaxy. I think I can say that. I'm sorry, Sienna, if I'm not allowed to say that, but. She Jackson Galaxy Enterprises, and so she's a boss woman. She is a boss lady, but she's also just like super intuitive and loving and all of this stuff. So we talked to her a couple weeks ago, and she gave us this idea to take this assessment, Clifton Strengths Assessment, and she said that she and her partner had done it, and that their team was going to be doing it too. And we were just like, yes, okay, anything you tell me to do, we're going to do.
But she also gave some really great, context to it, because she said, you think even about how our school systems work. If we tend to, in our society, focus more on trying to improve our weaknesses versus capitalizing on our strengths and growing our strengths.
Yeah.
And she kind of gave that. I love that. We can't wait to read the book, but she gave the kind of the analogy of, this little bunny goes to school and it's hopping class, and he comes home and he's like, oh my God, Mom, I did so amazing at hopping class today. And it's just so exciting. The next day is swim class, and it's just so discouraging, and comes back, and then they go meet with the counselor. I'm probably slaughtering this. And the counselor's like, wow, yeah, you're really good at hopping. So let's spend more time figuring out how to get you better at swimming. And it's like, oh, that does make sense.
Yeah. And she mentioned to us that all the studies show that people that try to improve upon their weaknesses only ever make it to average, versus those who take their strengths and improve upon their strengths soar. Right. So it was like, well, that's what we want to do. So we sat down. This is the weekend before last. We sat down together, like outside, because it was a beautiful day. So we were like across from each other with our computers. We're like, okay, are you ready? Are we ready? Are we going to go? Like, okay, let's pee first. Like, put your phone down, whatever. We took this test, and the results were not surprising. They were spot on. But at the same time, it was like, I think it really helped us to get to know, like, before even the team part, like for us to get to know each other.
After 20 years, it was helpful.
Not that we were surprised about each other's results either. Like mine were all like, you're an executor. You get stuff done. Like my number one strength is, they have weird words, but my number one strength is responsibility, and discipline, and belief, and developer, and futuristic. So it's all the results were all about like, I'm like a go-getter, right? If you have a crunched way to think about that. And Adrienne,
I am not.
She's a think about it,
because we always joke about, and you guys, if you listen to the podcast, you guys know that Jay's very type A, very OCD,
right? Which is why it was not a surprise,
right? And I am very type B, C, D, E, F.
You and your mom and your sister.
I'm not. So mine were all very much. My top 5 were learner, intellection, input, which I was like, what a ripoff. All my top 3 are like, I like to thinking about how to think about stuff and then learn something. Yeah. And then connectedness, and then developer. So developer was the one thing that we had in common.
Although it showed 2 completely different.
Yeah.
Like she's a developer in this way and I'm a developer in this way. And that was really, really cool, because we thought like, oh, it's just going to be a basic test where, everybody's answer, or assessment, where everybody's answer is going to be, if you fall into this category, this is your answer. But it's not. And we took it. Then we had our entire team take it this past weekend. We got together this week for lunch, Zoom lunch, and we went over everybody's results. And it was the same thing. Like the way that like one of them is and say developer is the way that they work within that same mindset of like developer, for instance, is recognize and cultivate the potential in others. So the way that I recognize and cultivate the potential in others is completely different from the way that Adrienne recognizes and cultivates the potential in others. And it's very interesting. It was completely spot on, but it helped us to, I think it helps us to just better understand even ourselves, right? Like better understand like why I do the things that I do. Like, it's not like it's not like it's who I am, right? It's in finding that out in all of our team members and each other. And like, this is who you are. And it was not like something weird for any of them. It was like almost a creepy, as Trish put it, almost a creepy, like, that's so spot on. That's so creepy kind of thing.
So spot on. Even the one about Lindsay that was like, nothing in there asks like, are you funny? Are you whatever? But it said with your quick wit and humor, it's like,
we're like, she is definitely, she is the quick wit and humor of the team. And it's like, none of those questions are anything like, do you laugh with blah, blah, blah? Like it's literally A or B. Which one do you resonate more with? And it's so interesting. The assessment, Denise and everybody that's asking, it's online. So you can look up Gallup. Gallup is like the leading. They do all the survey.
Gallup surveys.
Yeah. They have a team of like amazing, like psychologists and like researchers and stuff like that behind them. And it's called the Clifton Strengths Assessment. So you could just do a quick Google search and you'll find it pop up.
Marilyn said here, my OCD is freaking out. I'm too focused on the fact that your clothes aren't color coordinated.
But they are. It's just specific things, right? So these are the t-shirts.
Just looking at the closet behind us of all of our shirts. So
yeah, so we've got the whites and the purples and the orange and the red and the black and the green and the blue. So the t-shirts are all color coordinated because there's a lot of them. These are all long sleeve. And they are also color coordinated, but we have so many. So this is like the blue section. And then this is the Red.
Anyway, sorry, I'm very sorry.
And then we got purple. Yeah,
Tina wants to know, execute. Is that why you say I'm gonna cut you?
GALLUP, Madison Gallup.
Gallup, yes. Some of the things
Probably,
that I really,
Tina, yes.
Yeah, I think that's right. One of the things that I really loved about this though was that have you guys ever seen the funny thing that went so viral is the dress blue or white?
Oh yeah.
Blue and black or white and gold or whatever it is, or is the shoe turquoise or whatever it was, right?
We always saw it completely opposite.
Yeah, and I think it's fascinating though, because I think so many interpersonal frustrations arise because we believe everyone has our same perception of something,
right?
And that's been something that Jay and I have
it's been
explored for as long as we've known each other, right?
But then to put it into real life scenarios,
it's
like
specifically
now,
work,
right, into our work,
right.
And it is it's mind opening, I think, to me, especially with our team, and just to see like a bit of and each other, right? But to recognize that this is not something, maybe because I'm OCD, I have the tendency of being like, you need to be working on this right now, and then you need to be working on this, and if you put it in order and you get the things done, like you'll have so much more done at the end of the day if you just organize it a little bit, prioritize the things that need to be done. Like, why are you working on this for next week when this needs to be done by tomorrow? So I'm like almost into judgment phase when it comes to Adrienne and the way that she works. And prior to even taking the test, I've been backing off and being like, I think it's going to be easier if I just let her work the way that she needs to work, and let's like see how it goes. But now I'm like, I'm really glad that she, like, this is how, when she's out there in the shop before, I'm not lying, when she's like packing orders and getting everything, she's our shipping everything, our shipping manager, our shipping director, she is our shipping department. Right. And so I would be like, why is it taking her so long to like pack these orders? Like, I know it should not be taking this long. And then come to realize that, she uses that time to think. She uses that time to learn, even. Like that's the time that she has to be peaceful within herself, which is one of her strengths, not a weakness. It's a strength. And so it's really, I think it's really neat to see neat. I never say that word. Neat.
It's neat.
It's neat.
It's a relief for me. That's all I say.
Whatever. I feel like.
Well, here's the thing. I think that
does it make you hate me less now that now that something else told you that I
could never hate you? But I think that this has been a fascinating thing for all of us on the team, is that, and any small business really, Jay and I started this 7 years ago, but we decided early on that Jay's the one with the business mind. She really is. She can handle all the bookkeeping.
It's not really a business mind. It's an organized mind.
Right. Which is whatever it is that works so well. So we decided early on that I would go out and get a full-time job, because this was not obviously something, there's not a lot of money in cats. So that she had the whole weight of our business, of our dream of this company on her shoulders. And while I was involved as much as I could be, all the decisions, like, you can always reach me at work to be like, oh, hey, this is going on. Do you think I should order this much or that much? Or what do you think about? She had to make all those decisions on her own. So I think it's been fascinating to watch someone who is type A, who is OCD. You've always been that way for as long as I've known you. Actually,
for as long as I've known me.
Will actually be able to start having faith in other people to do things well and in their own way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been, I think, being intentional about growing pains, which is what I keep kind of thinking of this as.
That's what we keep calling it.
Well, growing pains, though, I mean, it's like, this is happening. And how do we make it most efficient, most fulfilling, most all of those
things at once, right? So we want to make it efficient. We need to make it, we need to make it streamlined. We need to also make it where everybody involved is happy, or, we want to create a culture. We said this before we even hired any of us, like me, like
you're still not hired.
I'm still not hired. I'm the only one not getting paid, but still, it's like, I wanted from the very beginning. It was like, I started writing. Oh my God, I have to go find that. I forgot about that. I started no, we wrote a business plan, but I started writing an employee handbook and like started writing out what I want our culture to be, because I was envisioning and if you will, manifesting a team a long time ago.
Long time.
I was talking about it. I was thinking about it. I was excited about it. It was like, this is going to happen and this is what it's going to be. And now I need to go back and find that and read it. Oh my God. Oh
That's
my God.
so true. And realizing that things don't always happen in the way that you think they're going to happen. Right. I remember this being a growing pain for us. I always felt like she always wanted a team. And I was like, I am your team. Okay. We're going to build this business until we get to the point where we can both be committed to this business. And before that could happen, Lindsay appeared and started being the team member that Jay, like in a way that I could never be. Her gifts, her strengths are so different that I would never have been able to contribute to the things that Jay needed at that time to get to the next level.
Although it is interesting that you two are very alike in your strengths as well.
I don't know. I think that we have similar kind of private personalities in a way.
Yeah.
But her strengths are everything that she does with. Our light bulb just went out. Everything that she does, she has an eye for making things pop, for doing things in a way that I find exciting, that I don't have that kind of creativity. So I love that you talk about manifesting, the ways that things have grown and just how it has all come to be has always been, like we said before, it's always been like a step before we really realize that this is exactly what we need at this moment. And it's exciting now to be in a place where we have this solid team of amazing women that have been in our lives before they started working with us.
Yeah.
And now be able to see like what really makes them tick and how valuable that is, not just as a human being, but as part of this team moving forward.
And it's so interesting that like every single one of us are different. And I mean, I guess it's the joy of life and it's the joy of humanity, right? That every single one of us are different, but every single one of us have a different set of strengths. And it's like, there's 5 of us now. And it's like, we can put these, I'm really like, it's on my mind every single day on how to organize the strengths in such a way that it creates this, like everybody is using their strengths, is capitalizing upon their strengths to bring in just more change into the cat community, to make a bigger difference, to make a bigger impact on the world. I'm so excited that that we took this test, the assessment. Sorry.
Thank you.
I'm so excited that we took it, because, and also like just the other night, I don't know if you remember, you were drinking a little bit, but you were like,
what?
This changes the way that I think about you.
Oh, I totally remember that. I really love that, because this is a new, it's not too mushy or anything, but we've known each other since 2001, right? We joined forces in 2004, and we have had a number of relationship adventures in the past 20 years, a number of them. And this is a new chapter for, obviously not just our business, but for our relationship. I look at it as a new chapter in our personal relationship. And I think it helps for me, because I'm a learner and I like to think about stuff, that it helps me to think about you in a different way and learn. Thinking and learning, learning and thinking about learning, and learning to think. All the new ways that I can see you and appreciate things that I sometimes will just get irritated by, right? Mm-hmm. I am very irritated by your crazy morning. Blah, 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 blah. My mind is so sharp in the morning. I love to do. And I'm like, everybody just slow down until I get some coffee. You know, like, how about you not talk to me for a minute? Yeah. Right? Instead, it's like, I want you to maximize that time. That's one of your amazing times.
Yeah.
And I can take myself out of that equation a bit and be supportive of that.
So long as I'm not trying to make you the person that's also being right. Correct. So I was just listening to a podcast. I didn't get to hear the whole thing, but I was listening to a podcast while I was I was setting up for the other live, and they were talking about two gals that had come together to start a podcast, and they're best friends. And everybody was talking about, like, how do you do this with, your best friend? And she was saying that, like, there was a little bit of a learning curve at first, because the gal talking was saying, I'm a morning person, and I like to get all my best work done before noon, because that's when my mind is the sharpest. And I'm like, I resonate with that. And she's like, but my friend, my best friend, she is more of like I'm going to have tea in the morning, and then I'm going to take a walk, and I'm going to look at the bunnies, and I'm going to think about the whatever. And then she's the one that works at night. And it's interesting because just listening to that, in fact, not even I mean, I guess it's forefront of the mind because we just took this assessment, but thinking about like that dynamic, there's so many times that I am the same way. I like all my mind work that really has to be done. I want to do it first thing in the morning, because that's when my mind is the sharpest, and I can really, I don't know. And then I start to fade towards late afternoon. And then at 6 o'clock, I'm like, okay, I just want to relax, have a glass of wine, answer some Instagram DMs, and, relax. And Adrian's like, here's my computer, I'm going to write a blog. And I'm like, now that's, did you guys hear that? That's our cats chasing. They're just chasing each other. They're just chasing each other. Wow.
It sounded like a human being running up our stairs.
It sounded like somebody knocking something over. Anyway. So I used to get like a little bit like, I would just feel bad. Like within myself, I feel like I am not a good worker because I should probably have my computer out. I'm sure there are things I could be doing, but my mind's not ready to, count numbers and do bookkeeping and like the business stuff and all that. Like at 6 o'clock at night, my mind doesn't want to do that. Sure, I could answer DMs. I can do customer service. No problem whatsoever. Talk to people, do lives, things like that. I can absolutely do that in the evening, but work on stuff, write a blog, things like that. No, that's the stuff that needs to be done for me in the morning, but there's nothing wrong with that. We're just different, right? It's not bad. It's just different.
But I think that there's been a shift. I remember coming out with my little notepad, and I was going to pound out inventory, and had to do like a bunch of math to figure out, like, making sure that we're not ordering too much, making sure that we're whatever. And you were upset. You were like, what are you doing? This is like, it was, I don't know, 6:30 on a night that we didn't have a live. And it's like, well, I want to get this done because I want to be able to get the order in tomorrow. And I want to make sure
right.
But it's just different ways of working and different ways that people, and I think it is on that same podcast that I overheard a bit of it too. And I remember that when we first started this business, from different family members or friends being like, you guys are going to go into business together. Is that a
wise
good
decision?
idea?
How lucky are we, guys? Like, we're best friends, we're partners. We we never tire of each other, right? I'm sure
get irritated.
Yeah, we can get irritated with each other. Sometimes it's like
a mental time out,
right?
if you will.
And sometimes it's just really great to like do some things away from each other.
Yes,
100%. But it's not something that we crave. Like, I need to get away from you right now. That never happens. Right. It's just never a thing. We're best friends. So we don't get, like, it's not like that. And usually when we have time away from each other, we don't know that we're going to enjoy it until we're away from each other. And then it's like, wow, that was really nice. That was really nice.
Yeah.
But how lucky are we?
It's exciting. Really. It's so exciting. And I love things like this. The Clifton Strengths assessment is something that, to me, it's a mental tool to have. It helps me not just better focus, instead of feeling like I'm not performing up to par for you and your strengths, that I can better focus on my strengths and become more efficient in my strengths, and not be thinking about, oh, well, if I'm
doing this while everybody else should be doing this.
Right. I get paralyzed by fast decision making. I need to be able to sit down and think about something. I have to. I am paralyzed.
It's true.
Which is why the assessment in itself was It's like, I only have 20 seconds to think about this. Like, that's no fair.
But guys, there are questions like the one that I remember, just because our motto is learn, share, and grow, right? So the one that I remember was I grow when, and then you're in within 20 seconds, you have I grow when I learn, or I grow when I share. Like those were that was the entire question, right? And you had 20 seconds. Do you grow when you learn, or do you grow when you share? Or are you right in the middle? I was like, I grow when I share. And we talked afterwards. I was like, I grow when I share.
Did you get this question?
And she was like, I grow when I learn. And it was like, wow, how cool. Like
I don't even understand how you grow when you share. Like, how does that even work?
I explained it to you, though.
I know it is, but but for me, I grow when I learn. I love this kind of thing. I love it so much. And I love that it's kind of just the beginning. It's like you're given this.
Darby has it right.
gift.
You have an analytical mind.
Maybe I don't even know. But it resonated.
Sissy pick share too. Yeah, I think
How
you know.
Can
There's
read
just
that from here.
You don't have your glasses.
My glasses.
Yeah. So I think that, like, for me, like, I grow when I share, meaning, and I explained it to you and Lindsay the other day when Lindsay was over, about how, for me, I can learn, like, I will go in and learn a bunch of stuff about cat health, right? But if I don't have the opportunity to share that with someone, I lose it. It's not actually, it's not actually, and I don't feel like I'm growing anything because I'm not sharing, right? So for me, like, I learn something. I usually learn when somebody asks me so that I can help them, because that's really what we are as an entire team, as a business. We are problem solvers. That's what we do, right? We find you come to us with your problems. We figure out ways to help, whether it's giving you to a great resource that we found, or giving you great information, or giving you great products. Like, that's what we do. And for me, it's when I am able to, I will learn that when you ask me, I've never heard of, like, I always think about the feline hyperesthesia that came like probably a year or two into our business. Somebody said, what have you ever heard of feline hyperesthesia? Or is there anything that you have, or that you can help me with my cat that has feline hyperesthesia? I'm like, never heard of that. What's that? So I just dove in, did a bunch of research. I didn't learn at that moment. Yeah, I didn't learn at that moment. I learned once I was able to share it with somebody else. And then it was like, yes, now, so it's
but I think that's
but she will absorb information that I have no idea that she even, like, I have no idea even what it is, like the global, like, thing happening in how do you even know that? Like, where did the words that pop out of your head, that pop out of your mouth, that is like, is that even a word? And then you look it up and it's like, by golly, it is a word.
By golly,
it is a word. And it's like, how do you know this shit? Like, it's crazy. But she stores information, and it comes out at the right time, and it comes out, like, it's the difference between us that is, I think, makes the kismet.
So much kismet.
Yeah.
So much kismet. Are we, we're about to have to wrap up, aren't we?
Yeah. I think so.
I have to say, though, because Laura Lee is here, and so excited about this, and she just dropped a comment. I saw this earlier on. She said her spring break just got really exciting.
Yeah.
So Laura Lee is a high school teacher, and she has spring break next week, which means, you guys, that this incredible cat advocate that we learn a lot from, she does kitty clinics over the weekends. She does so much with her own babies. She's got
and she's one of our VIPs in our VIP group, and she is the feline, the dedicated feline enthusiast. And just started a blog, and we're really excited to interview her next week for our podcast.
Yes. Will you drop the link to your website so people can start checking out everything that you have?
Yeah.
I have not been there this week yet, but
just say, kiss me. Kismet.
Kiss me. But drop the link, because it's like the DFE.com, I believe is what it's called, the DFE.com. So you guys do not want to miss that interview, because I think that it will be interesting to ask Laura Lee what she feels her strengths are.
Oh my goodness.
Not that you've taken this assessment
yet. Maybe you should take the assessment.
But I love that you are someone that has...
We're going to be grilling you with a lot of questions about a lot of different things, and you're not even going to know. And I'm really excited to get your answers. And I'm also excited because she just has, like, the best Southern accent ever. And I can guarantee you, especially if we get to like have a beverage while
Maybe
on the
plan on
podcast.
that.
I'm definitely going to get more country speaking with her because, we're both from the South.
I find it remarkable. I think that the past couple years, it's gotten less and less.
What has
your Southern drawl when you're drinking?
Mine?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's because I'm not around anybody. When I'm around, like, and Liz and I over the past, like Liz, my sister has a Southern accent as well. And
not Sissy, the one that's
not Sissy, Liz, but she and I used to talk like all the time too. So it was easy for me to get back into the country accent. Now we just are really busy boss ladies, and we just don't talk as much. So I need Laura Lee in my life. I need Laura Lee in your accent.
It reminds me, Laura Lee, once I get off here and grab a few things, I will shoot you a text back with kind of just a rudimentary outline for next, because we just like to fly by the seat of our pants, or as Jay likes to say, fly by the brim of your hat.
It makes more sense than the seat of your
pants.
But
it had so much more aerodynamic.
Okay, guys. So thank you for joining us for this episode of Back in the Closet with Two Crazy Cat Ladies, number 113. We will see you guys very, very soon next week. And
we'll see our VIPs tomorrow night.
Yeah, we'll see our VIPs tomorrow night. Mwah. We love you guys so much.
Have a great weekend. Mwah. Bye, y'all.